Hey guys, welcome to my first ever plant haul video, and this might be the only one I ever do, I don't know. I don't normally buy or obtain this many plants in such a small period of time, which is why I thought now would be a great time to film this kind of video. I've bought a few plants, and I also just did my first ever plant swap through a Facebook group, which is really fun and exciting. I like it. I'd like more free plants. That's so much fun. So I've got quite a few plants in the last couple of weeks, I guess, compared to before. So let's start with the first one that I got, which is this really pretty jewel orchid. So this is a Macodes type jewel orchid, and before I saw that this was available in Bunnings, I had never even thought about jewel orchids. I had never really thought about orchids at all in general. My dad always grew normal type orchids when I was growing up, so they were kind of just a bit of a fact of life, I guess. I don't know, I have a vanilla bean orchid, which I like. I like the idea of maybe getting vanilla bean pods from it, but this guy is so pretty. I've been tossing up what I want to do with him. Some people put them in terrariums, but then some people say that they rot if they don't get enough airflow. So I was gonna put it in a terrarium. At the moment it's just been on my bathroom windowsill or my kitchen windowsill for a week and a half roughly, and it hasn't died yet, so that's a good sign. This is the most I've ever spent on a plant. It was $49.98, basically $50, and I ummed and ahed for quite some time, but it's just so pretty. I couldn't leave it. It's also known as the lightning bolt plant, I guess, because of the zigzag pattern on the leaves. It's really like glittery and sparkly and pretty. I don't know why this leaf is a bit curly. Hopefully I don't kill it. The next one I bought was this Marble Queen. I saw them in the shops ages back, and I didn't buy one because I have this thing where I only like to buy a plant every now and then instead of doing it in one big lot like I have done this time. But I've recently decided I should just buy the plants I like when I see them, because then they don't become available and I spend weeks looking for them. And yeah, I should just buy them when I see them if I like them. So I've taken the price sticker off this and I've already put it in new soil, but I think it was around about $13 or $14. And I really like the half moon leaves that it's putting out, like on this side. I think it's a cool difference to have like the half moons on that one side and then to have sort of the more speckled variegation on the other side. And it's really pretty. It seems happy. I've only had it for a couple of days and I haven't killed it yet either, which is, you know, that's not very much time to test anything. But look how big this leaf is. This was already on it, but I swear it's grown bigger since I brought it home. I don't know, I might be imagining that though. Now the last plant that I bought this week is this Begonia. This is my first Begonia. See. So this is my first Begonia, and I think I've always thought of begonias as kind of like a little old lady plant, you know. But I love the spotty foliage on this guy. He was $12.98, and that's a pretty good price for this size plant, I think. And I haven't yet changed over his soil, but I will probably do that because it was pretty wet when I picked him up. It had been raining at Bunnings that day, and all of their new stock was just sitting outside in the trolleys. They hadn't had a chance to unpack it yet. I spoke to the woman who was working there and she said people had been sick, and so it was all still out there. Kind of seemed like they probably should have put this in the indoor section because people probably would have found it more easily. It was like right at the back of the vegetable section. But I'm super happy with him. I think I'm gonna try and keep the tips pinched off so that it bushes out and stays really shrubby. I think this is a cane type begonia. I don't know anything about begonias, by the way. This is my first ever begonia, as I said, so this is all stuff that I've quickly looked up since I brought him home yesterday. But the cane type begonias kind of just keep growing taller and taller, and then the cane gets a bit brittle and you need to stake it, so I'd rather keep him like a bit more compact and shrubby and looking like this but bigger and bigger over time. So I'm really happy with him though, he's really cute. Moving on to my plant swaps, I got a new variety of Scindapsus. So this is the cutting that I got yesterday, and then this one over here is the Syndapsus leaf that I already have. So you can see this one has a lot more of the silver variegation on it compared to the one I currently have. So I got 1, 2, 3 of the Syndapsus cuttings, and then I also got this little tiny chain of hearts, which I don't have at the moment. I don't have too many hanging plants. I've only got my string of beans and a sedum burrito. So I'm pretty happy about that. And then the lovely lady who I traded with also threw in some of her donkey's tail, which is another type of sedum. It's a little bit different than the one that I have. The one that I have has shorter, fatter leaves. This one's kind of a longer, skinnier type of leaf. So it grows in a similar kind of manner, it's just a little bit different looking. But yeah, so that's my plant swaps, and I'm kind of addicted to plant swapping now because, like, how cool is this? Oh yeah, and in exchange, so I gave her some of my sedum cuttings that had already started growing new lobes, so those ones are like fresh off her plant. And then I gave her some fresh cuttings of my heartleaf philodendron and my philodendron Brazil. So that's super, super fun. I'm so excited to see how this new Scindapsus grows. Look at the size of this leaf. It's massive. It's like half the size of my face. Like, can you imagine if this guy grows leaves that big over time? So I'm gonna keep these guys all in water. I had some of my Syndapsus cuttings in sphagnum moss, but they just didn't do anything. Like, they barely grew any roots. I think I might have had, well, actually that's a lie. I had maybe, I think, a quarter of them grew enough roots to plant into soil from the sphagnum, and then the others just didn't grow any roots. They just were doing nothing. So I transferred the ones that had leaves to water, and they have since grown, most of them have grown enough roots that I've put them in soil. I think I have these 2 left, this one and that one. I have yet to finish growing enough roots for me to plant them out in soil, and then I have a bunch of just like the wet stick type cutting, which is just a node with no leaves on it, and some of them have like a tiny little aerial root, and they've been sitting in the sphagnum for so long because there's not really any way to change them to water. I have a couple like suspended in water that have a tiny little leaf nub on them. One of those have grown a root, but I don't know, I just found it a little bit iffy with the sphagnum with these guys, whereas I had a couple of Brazil cuttings in my sphagnum propagation box and they had roots in like 3 weeks. Crazy roots. I planted them out like the other weekend, so it's crazy. So that's my plant haul. It's not really that many plants compared to like everyone else who does plant haul videos. It's got like, I don't know, a lot of plants, probably like, what have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including my cuttings. Most other people probably have at least double that when they do a plant haul, but this is like the most plants I have ever bought in like a 1 to 2 week period. So I'm feeling pretty planted up at the moment, which is, it's pretty nice. I'm pretty happy. Got that fresh plant glow where you kind of just sit back and look at your glorious new babies. So if anyone who's watching has any tips about particularly the Begonia and the jewel orchid, I would love you to comment them down below, because I don't want to kill either of these babies. They are very pretty and I would really like them to do well in my house, but I also haven't ever grown them before, so it'll be a bit of a challenge, I think, with this guy in particular. I've had so many mixed reviews, so many different things about what to plant it in. I'm so confused at the moment, that's why I haven't done anything with it, and I still don't know what I'm going to do with it, because some people are like, oh, I just have it in 100% sphagnum, and other people have it in like cocoa core and a mix of sphagnum, and some people have it in bark, and I'm so confused. I don't know what to do with it. I'm glad it's not looking like it's hating life in what it's in at the moment, because I wouldn't know what to do, what to plant it in. I'd be so freaked out because everyone just has their own way of growing these guys, which is insane, like absolutely insane compared to like everything else. So I don't know. I'll definitely make a video if I decide to put it in a terrarium. At the moment I'm going to leave him as is. These guys sort of spread out a lot, so I was hoping that he would spread out more and I could put him in a slightly bigger sort of bonsai style pot if he's happy with the humidity in my house. We shall see. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Does it look like this plant is coming directly out of my head? Like, maybe this isn't the best like camera angle for this. Maybe I'll just do this. Is that better? I don't know.